Okay, perfect. So we are going to start. At the beginning, my advice is inspire in the nature. Here I have a branch, so you can see how is in nature and how we can inspire our drawing, our watercolor in the nature. Here, if you see, the leaves have some space between them on the stem. So, for example, you're not going to see a leaf that is going to match on the stem. We have to play with the shape of the leaves. For example, I have here one, this leaf, and I have here another one. And this one, for example, you can take any leaf on your garden and you can use it on for inspiration so you can draw your leaves. My advice is at the beginning, if you're a beginner on foliage watercolor, draw first your inspiration. So I'm going to start here with one curve on the stem. So at the beginning, if you see on the branch, it could be possible that the first leaf is or a small one, or it could be a large one. So mimic this one on the paper. It's okay. For example, it's okay if you have a mistake, you can correct that one. And this one, for example, if you're a beginner, this one it will help you to learn how you can paint only with the brush. So, for example, I'm going to use this one. So on the first leaf, you're going to see one space. So I'm going to draw this space here on the second leaf. And on the third leaf, remember, you have to have some distance between the leaves. So it could be possible that you can draw it on the right side or on the left side. In this case, I'm going to draw it on the opposite side, a little bit lower. So you will have some movement on their branch. So I'm going to do another one. And for example, use the branch, and for example, here you can see that sometimes the leaves one you will have it over another one, or you can have it under. So do the same. This one it will help you to make the watercolor more natural, even though that you won't use the colors that you have it on the nature. But this one it will seems that is branch. So this one it will help you a lot. So I'm going to continue the same process. I'm going to make one leaf. The other one it will be a little bit under. You can move the paper, so this one it will help you. And my advice, for example, at the beginner, for a beginner, and the pencil has to be very light, because remember, for any project, even though that the watercolor will cover a little bit, but this one it will sometimes if you press the pencil too much, this you will see the pencil. So um, after you get used to it, um, use little pressure on the pencil. So I'm going to continue with my drawing. Okay, so on the other leaf, I'm going to use the other leaf I have here. So y- use the leaves that you have in your garden. As I told you before, this one it will help you a lot. And the first at the beginning, draw your lips. It's okay. After you have some practice, you can do the lips with your brush. At the beginning, it will help you a lot if you draw the lips. So I'm going to continue with my drawing. On my third lips, I'm going to do the lips long and for example, this one it will be long. I will overlay one over another one, and this one, as I told you before, this one it will help to get some movement and some dynamic on the lips. So do the same process with other lips. I'm going to finish my drawing so I can tell you a few tips so you can color with watercolor your drawings. Okay, perfect. So now the fun part. So I'm going to use the middle size brush and I will make a mix of color, a little pink with a little orange. And so let me add some orange here. I will do a little bit of mix. I will combine two colors. So I will teach you how you can draw or color the lips with two different colors. This one it will give you an amazing effect on your projects. So after you make the mix, always try the mix on another paper. Remember, the mix has to you have to do it on the palette, never on the paper, and test what color you will have on the paper. If you okay with it, okay, you can continue. In this case, I just add a little bit more of orange and pink, and I think I like the tone I have right now. So let me see. Yes, I have. I'm happy with this one. So what I'm going to do right now, on the tip on the leaf, I'm going to place this color on just the tip. I'm going to add a little bit. First, if you want, well, it will be better, erase the lines that is too dark. So remember this one, it will see through the watercolor, and after the watercolor is on the paper, you won't be able to erase it. So please first erase the darkest part of pencil that you have. So I'm going to start now that I'm happy. So place it on the tip, and after you add the amount that you want on the sleeve, I'm going to clean my brush with clean water, and with the remaining water that I have. Remember, if you have too much water, you always have to have a paper towel, and this one will help you to remove the excess of water. So I remove the watercolor with the same water that you have on the brush. So on the other side, I'm going to add a little bit of green. This one is like olive green, but it's very, really light. So I'm going to move the watercolor, and I'm going to blend these two colors now that is wet. And remember, first, my recommendation, if you don't know what colors you will have on the mix the color in another paper. So you will see what color you will have if you mix these two colors. Because sometimes when you mix colors, you will have a brown or a red or a color that you don't want. So first, taste the colors, see is the mix between them. It will help you, it will be good for your project. And after you're happy with it, you can do the mix. So I'm going to continue the same process. I'm going to add one color in one end and the other on the other one. And I'm going to move the watercolor with the brush and mix the two colors. Remember, the watercolor is always work by layers. If you're this one, for example, if this one is too light for you, it's okay. You can add another one after this one is dry, and this one it will give you another effect. Or you can leave it like as it is right now. It's your choice. You have to um, do some exercise and see what you like and what you don't like. So I'm going to continue this with this process. The same, move the watercolor and mix these two colors so it will blend. I like this mix. It's getting really, really nice. So I'm going to continue here. And for the stem, I'm going to use another brush. The brush I'm going to use is the number 0 because the stem I personally like to be more thin. So I'm going to do the same with this watercolor. Okay, so I'm going to do this other leaf with another two colors. I'm going to use always a pink, and the other color that I'm going to use is like a little bit blue, turquoise blue. So I'm going to do this process right now, and let's see the result. Okay, so this technique will help you to draw the leaves only with the brush. So at the beginning, just touch the beginning of the leaves with the tip of the brush, and after you can press the brush on the paper. So at the beginning, just place the beginning of the tip, and after press the brush. For example, right now that you have the drawing, this one, as you see, this one, it will help you to exercise how you can draw the leaves just with the brush. And do this process. Just touch the beginning of the leaves with the tip of your brush and press the brush after a few seconds. So I'm going to do this same process for the other leaves. I need a little bit more water, and I'm going to do the same process. For example, if you have different types of brush, you can exercise what type of leaves you will have with the brush. Sometimes you will see this one, it will help you to do small leaves, another ones will help you to do round leaves. So experiment and do a lot of exercise. So I'm going to do the stem here. Perfect. So in the meantime it's drying, I'm going to do another leaf. So in this leaf, I'm going to use a lot of water. And with this one, you're going to see when you use a lot of water on your projects, you will have a different effect. So I'm going to place here some watercolor, and on the other side, I will add more watercolor, and it will be with more water and more paint. So you will see that you will, after it's dry, you will have another effect. So if you see this one is darker, I'm going to move a little bit of water, and I'm going to let it dry. So the other leaf I'm going to use, this one is a technique that we call wet on wet. So it means that you're going to place the watercolor over a wet paper. And this one, it will help to move the watercolor much more. And this one, it will give you a lot of effect. So it will be the same. I'm going to place one color in one side and another color in the other side. Going to add a little bit of pink here. And as you see, the watercolor moves a lot of more. You don't have much control, but that's the fun part of the watercolor, right? So I'm going to mix a little bit, and perfect. And that's it. You have to experiment with the watercolor, see what effects you will have. And this one will help you to make the watercolor more dynamic and more original. It has to be for example, it has to show your personality. So experiment, a lot of experimentation. So I'm going to add another layer here, and I'm going to add a little bit of shadow over here. I'm going to move a little bit this watercolor so it will blend. You can leave as it is, but in my personal preference, I would like to blend. Perfect. So for example, um, you can make different details on the leaves. You can add, for example, you can make it as darkest as you want, or you can leave it light. It's your preference. So I'm going to finish here. move a little bit here, and I'm going to add some details. For example, these details, you can add it on another color, or it could be white. You have so many details or so many techniques that you can add on your project. So I'm going to do these details over here. And I'm going to finish right now in a few seconds with these details. And I'm going to show you on this first part what you can do or what projects, for example, you can do with these leaves. For example, you can create some patterns, or you can create this one as a art. You can sell it. It's your choice. Perfect. So I'm going to finish, and I'm going to show you what you can do with this project. Okay, perfect. So I have here my leaves that I made. I'm just digitalize these leaves. I just clean it on Photoshop, and I just erase any mistake. And this one, for example, I just create one wedding invitation with the different leaves here, and I just create another. For example, this one is a mock-up, so you can show your project and you can sell it if you want. It's okay. And I just made, for example, another project, and this one is a pattern with the same leaves. I just paint. So you have to experiment and try it. Just try it. So I will see you in the next part, okay? Bye bye.